All right, so we got some clean data, and then we're gonna go to uh, we're gonna remind ourselves tomorrow. All right, so we exported, we saved it. Um, we got our clean data games. We're gonna open it. Okay. Yeah. So we got some stuff here, right? And we got our sheet one. Okay. So what are like some of those things we have to do? We have to um let's just double check. All right, so it's a whole number, year. All right, so that's good. We gotta drop this in pages. And then we gotta start messing around with like our filters. And we're gonna see how they kind of load. All right. Um, let's go. We'll just mess around first. All our match names. All right. We'll drop. So we got year. Let's go. Um, tournament ID. And then so we have all our different tournament IDs. What are we going to analyze? We could do our. All right. So let's take it all the way back. All right. So now that we have that, we loaded it all up. We got this sheet. We're gonna just do some like basic like visualizations that we can do based on this. So we're gonna drag just year into our column, and then we're gonna see tournament ID into rows. So then we got now this doesn't look very useful, right? It's like ugh, right? Now why is that? I think it's remember it was like those tournaments they have the same uh, IDs, so they keep reproducing them. So what can we do to aggregate it? We can change this by right clicking, and then when we go to count, we'll make it a distinct count, right? So then we have these years 2021, 142, 2022, 58, 2023, 2024 so far. So count distinct. And now, like, being that it's only, you know, pretty early in 2024 when we have our data, when we check back at the end of the year, we could assume that it's going to start rising. So there's been a dip, and then but for right now, we'll analyze what we have. So how do I do that? Edit. I can look at the log, exponential. You look at these curves, and then this one kind of fits, right? Linear, exponential. So that's our first visualization. So so something that like might save you time. Let's rename sheet one year. What are we actually looking at? What are what am I looking at here? I'm looking at the year and the number of tournaments. All right, so we'll call it that, right? The next thing you could do, like sometimes it's easier to duplicate if you have other things set up, but for this one, it didn't really make sense. But sometimes it's easier to duplicate, especially if you have a lot of stuff and you just want to swap out one variable. But all right, so I'm gonna have to rename this in a second. Anyway, but what do we got? Now we're gonna look at the stage and the match ID, and we're gonna change the match ID probably to account. So we'll make stage, and then we'll go. Stage finals. I don't think we want the match ID though. Let's look back at our Jupyter notebook. Frequency. Let's go match played. And just to look at like what's in these columns again. Yeah, so look, stage just is stage. So that might not be what we want to do if we want to look up this exact information. We might want to do map instead of one of those. Mm-mm-mm-mm. All right. So, all right. So we got a distinct count of match IDs. So this could help us look at um, how many maps, how many games are played on each map, right? So bunch of different things you could do. Uh, what else could we do? Let's do one more, and then we'll swap it. We'll do match type, and then match ID. We're going to change match ID to count. And then this is now like why like grand final, that's what they call it in all of it, right? So even though there should be like less grand finals, every tournament, like this one did day one, day like whatever tournament they had day one, day two, day three. So that's why there's more grand finals. This is just a type of match as in where you are in the bracket. So and this would be match ID as a count. Maybe throw a map up there. And this would be the, how many matches got played on those. All right, so we're starting to break it down. We could kind of see, and now we're going to do, multiple things at once and then use a dashboard.